Alright everybody, welcome back. We're going to go ahead and jump right into it. So we started off by removing the brake caliper. Now I'm going to show you just removing on one side because both sides are the same. You're going to go ahead and free that line all the way up to the frame rail. So remove the 10 and the 13 that's holding those brake lines in there. And go ahead and remove that caliper, that rotor as well. Alright, we're going to go ahead and loosen up the upper control arm. Once you get all those bolts out, just kind of pound those threads out of there. You ain't got to worry about those. Go ahead and pull that off. Turn it to where you can gain access to the tie rod ends. Go ahead and remove that. Thread that nut back on there a couple times so you can pound them threads right out of there as well. Go ahead and remove that nut for the lower control arm. Make sure you disconnect your wheel speed sensor. Then right here you want to just make sure you grow a set and actually hit it so it comes loose, like I did right there. And then get that out of the way. We're going to go ahead and remove this fender liner here, get it out of the way. Alright, we're going to go ahead and try to remove this shock here. These shocks actually have a spot where you can counter hold them. I thought I was going to be able to get away without it, but I was not. So you will have to counter hold to get that shock off. You might get lucky, you might not. I personally did not get lucky. So I went ahead, counter held that nut up top, spun the nut off of it, and then we went ahead and removed the lower bolt as well. Once you get all that loose, all you gotta do is push down on it and you will be able to compress it just to get it out of there. We're gonna go ahead and put the new upper control arm back in. Once again, we're just gonna pound right through those threads. You don't really need them. Now you want to leave those bolts loose. That way once you go back around, you will have to pre-tension it. That way your suspension components don't squeak and rattle and make a whole bunch of racket on you. We're going to go ahead and remove the torsion bars for the lower control arms. You will have to go and rent a tool. So you want to run that nut out. Then you want to get the tension off of the little bracket that runs across. Then you can slide it right out of there. Undo the tool. And then your torsion bar will be loose. That tool can be rented from O'Reilly's, AutoZone, just your local parts store. My brother went ahead and done this part right here. He went ahead and removed the lower control arm. He kind of done it a lot different than I would have done it, but it got the job done either way. This truck is lifted, so you will see a few different components. The sway bar link right here, we're going to go ahead and remove that as well so we can get that lower control arm out. Go ahead and remove both lower bolts for the lower control arm. Like I said, just pound right through those threads. You ain't got to worry about them. Right here, we're going to go ahead and mark our holes for our bracket for the lift. You will be able to see right here in just a moment. We were not able to see our holes, so we went ahead and re-drilled or remarked it. Now here in a few minutes, you will hear quite a lot of profanity or vulgar language, so if that is not your thing, you might want to skip through that part. We went ahead and drilled that in. He couldn't get it, so I had to go in there and step in and get that out of there, or get that hole drilled. Went ahead, got that hole drilled, and then here in about 30 seconds is where that profanity is going to come into play. Go ahead and tighten up your bracket for that lift. That way you don't forget it. Go ahead and swap your sway bar brackets as well. Once you go ahead and put this on, make sure to leave it a little bit loose. That way you can kind of twist it if you need to. Viewer discretion is advised. So it's gonna have to go under. But that's as far as it's got. I know, that's what I'm saying. That's all it's got right here. It's as far back as it'll go.
Yeah, you're gonna have to take it back out.
Why does it gotta go under? What's up?
But what are you doing?
Hayden, how do you goddamn expect to fucking run it through a cross member that's goddamn 2 foot behind here when you got a 6 foot bar?
Let me see that.
If you run it through here first.
Let me see that son of a bitch.
Why would you run it all the way from there? That don't make a lick of sense.
Cause it ain't gonna work the way you trying to do it.
Damn.
Look at you. You done got it stuck in there.
Wait, instead of goddamn sitting there, how about you do something?
You got to hit me. Look, you done fucked up your rotor. Alright, pick me up. Alright, now all we gotta do is line her up down there for the other hole and she's in there. You hate when I'm right, don't you?
No, I don't. I wish you would just goddamn said that instead of sitting there watching me do it for fucking 9 hours.
I tried to tell you. I told you you're doing it wrong.
Alright, so we're going to go ahead and put this torsion bar back in this bracket here. Like I said, just pound right through those threads. You don't even need them. We'll make sure that's set in there all the way. Then I'm back there making sure our tool's in there. Right here you're going to see me doing the other side. We're taking the torsion bar out of the other side. This is kind of the same thing that you saw earlier. We're just getting all this stuff out of the way. It's kind of a horrible angle. I do apologize. Once again, he done the lower control arm completely different than I would do it. You have to go ahead and drill these holes as well. So mark them and drill them for that lift bracket. Get your bracket tight. Get your bracket tightened on there. And then put your little control arm back on there. We're going to go ahead and just bend that little bracket out of the way. We don't need it. We did have a little bit of trouble lining it up, so just be aware that you may as well. Once again, pound right through those threads. You don't need them. We're going to leave those bolts loose as well. That way when we pre-tension it, we can prevent some squeaks or anything like that. Pound right through those threads too. Don't need them. go ahead and slide your torsion bar through there. We were having a little bit of difficulty there apparently. I should have edited this part out, but we're just getting that torsion bar set in there properly. Now we're going to go ahead and pre-tension our suspension here and put everything else back on and then tighten everything down. And that is pretty much it. Don't forget to put your shock in there. All you have to do is just push it down pretty good, and you'll be able to put it back on there. You will have to counter hold that again to get it back on. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I do appreciate you watching. If you have made it this far, we are going to be fixing this thing. We're going to kind of unscrew it up. But apart from that, it was pretty simple. Um, Once you get done, you will need to take it for an alignment, but that's nothing too crazy. We do appreciate you sticking around to the very end if you made it this far. Um, Go ahead, click that like and subscribe button. Thank you.